Hi guys, Caleb Packham here, and I am stoked to be interviewing Warrior Addict's newest brand warrior, the inversion guru, Dan Morgan. At just 26 years of age, Dan teaches yoga workshops and retreats all over the world. Let's hear his story. Dan, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. So tell us, how did your journey into yoga begin?
So it began when I was about 16 or 17, and yoga asana, so the physical stuff, was kind of like a separate practice to meditation. So initially, mindfulness and meditation was my avenue in, as like a way of combating anxiety and worrying and small amounts of depression. So it was kind of my way of centering. And then sports and movement was a very separate entity in my world. So I love rock climbing, snowboarding, all these sorts of things. So then the physical aspect, or the flexibility and breathing shit, as I once called it, was like a way of staying mobile when I was doing my my snowboarding instructor course in Canada. So it was just a way of keeping me not as stiff, and a way to move. And then it was around that time that I sort of found that it all came together, especially with the influences of people like Patrick Beach and Dylan Werner and these sort of guys, with a lot of powerful movement. And I found like, a really strong desire to want to learn all these movements these guys are doing.
Yeah.
And then the more I experienced the mindset and the approach and the patience, and then centering. So obviously, when you're upside down, or for those that haven't delved into the inversion world yet, it's like a really amazing feeling, because you can't think about anything else. Because if you get distracted, then you're going to fall on your ass.
Yeah.
So that was what I found to be my avenue in, and then it all it's continued since then. It's been like a complete practice.
So how has your teaching style evolved?
Wow, big question.
Yeah.
So much more holistic now. It began with show moves, tricks.
Yeah.
And then the deeper aspect of that for me was, it kind of began to unravel that the reason I was doing that was a way of my mind-body connection. So now it's delved into this world of where it's more of an incorporation of doing what feels good for you. And if that means you're upside down, then you're upside down. And if you're lying on your back for an hour, then you're lying on your back. So it's been much more of like the way I like to teach is more of like a self-inquiry of checking in with how you're feeling day to day, and then listening to that despite what your ego's telling you. And, I should be working harder, I should be sweating more, especially like the more I'm seeing of like yoga in the West, of it's more of like an exercise cult that's a little bit different, that's caught wind of like another movement of, hot yoga and power vinyasa and all the stuff I love still. But kind of a deeper question of why each of us as individuals decide to practice yoga, and why we come to the practice. And there's always a different answer. But making that like the forefront of people's practice of, how do I feel today? What do I need today? And then doing the best to listen to that without worrying about, what the class is that you're in. If you need to take a child's pose, take a child's pose. And if you want to, be upside down, then be upside down. So
you are known as the inversion guru. That's quite a label to live up to.
Not self-titled. Just say I've not labeled myself.
Do you ever have any wobbles?
Always, man.
Yeah,
of course. It's like a daily practice, and some days you feel good in the practice, and some days you don't. And sometimes it's just not even on the mat. Sometimes it's like my yoga practice today is smiling, and despite how like moody or angry I feel, of like being kind to people and not being an asshole, especially when you're tired. I think that in my opinion, a lot of my yoga practice happens off the mat. Between events, when you're tired, and part of the whole traveling gig is an experience of meeting everyone and involving yourself in the different communities. Which I love. That's pretty much my favorite part, is meeting all these different people and having a great time. But sometimes when you're tired, that's that's the more challenging area of the practice of like, come on, it's not just about what you teach in a room. It's about, meeting people on wherever it is that I end up being, and sharing an experience and sharing like a common ground of everyone loves the practice, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, of course, wobble's not just physically, but on the emotional thing of finding a balance.
Yeah.
And with family life and making time for my girlfriend and my friends and stuff, I'm a big family man. I'm a big friend, and I'm all about connection really, and making sure that I keep that balance as well. And yeah, as the physical aspect of like, do I wobble all the time? Especially in like the trick aspects of like, there's the goalposts always move as well. So it never gets easier because there's always something new, which is the exciting thing about the physical yoga practice. I guess yoga practice as a whole is you always learning new things about yourself and your limits and your capabilities and how far you can push them. And there's always more to learn, which is what I love. I love it. So yeah, it's a daily wobble, which is the best bit about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So which inversion would you say is your nemesis?
One arm handstand right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long journey. And like, half a step forward, 20 steps backward. Like, whenever you work with these like circus performers and hand balances, it's a whole other realm. And then it's like, quadruple the patience because it's such small learning increments at a time. It's just teeny tweaks that change the whole position. And yeah, it's a beautiful and horrendously frustrating journey. I'm loving it. Yeah.
So we understand you've got a background in MMA, gymnastics, rock climbing, and also snowboard instructing.
Yeah.
So do you still practice all of these?
When I have the time,
Right.
Yeah, certainly climbing, and then calisthenics. MMA is something I miss for sure. Right. And snowboarding, like I've not been on the slopes for 2 or 3 years now, so that is something that I'm trying hard to make more time for.
Yeah.
One of my buddies just moved to Andorra for work, so I'm heading out there to do some work and to see him next May. So I'd have missed the season, but now I've got a friend with a house. I don't think I've got much excuse to not to do it. So I'm trying to make the time, but I think that yoga as a business and as a personal practice is kind of like the bread and butter really of what I do now.
And how do you find that yoga complements these different activities?
Oh, massively. Yeah, just general awareness of your body day to day is a huge thing. Presence to what you're doing. I think like in hindsight, things like rock climbing and snowboarding and MMA are in a way people's yoga because they're all sports that you need to be very present to the moment with.
Yeah.
Because if you mess up when you're 20 foot up, then it's not going to be so great. So you got to be present, and then moving very fast down a steep hill on a board. Again, you got to be aware. And MMA as a sport, as well as those guys being incredible athletes, it's like a massive mindset thing. It's a lot about knowing who you are and what your limits are and how you can push yourself. But then on the physical aspect, of course, core strength, as I said, presence to your body mentally. There's a lot of focus and determination required with many sports, not just the ones that I enjoyed before. So yeah, it keeps you limber for sure. With rock climbing, like chucking your leg up. And yeah, just general core strength for those sort of sports and proprioception, like awareness of your body and space. It's all really, really beneficial.
Yeah, totally. So you're based in Cardiff. Is that your hometown? You've always lived there?
It is indeed. Yeah, I grew up in Cardiff. I moved to Bristol for about 6 years.
Yeah.
So that was for uni, and then I was in a touring band, and then the cliche band breakup, which I'm not going to get into on this conversation, and then came back here, and that was kind of the beginning of me building everything that I do now. So I'm here for just a few more months, and then my base is changing to Brighton, which is very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, closer to London, closer to Brighton, which is exciting. So
What,
April I move up.
why the move to Brighton?
So I'm moving in with my girlfriend, so that's kind of like reason number one. And then reason number two is lots of friends and the London yoga community. Is I love London in small bursts. So I don't think I'm quite ready to plunge fully into living in London.
Yes, of course.
And Brighton's, 55 minutes on the train.
Yeah.
So I for a long time I was supposed to be moving to Brighton from my old job, and I love it, man. It's got a great scene. Everyone's really happy and friendly there. Loads of great food, loads of great coffee, lots of great yoga. Stone's throw really from London, and closer to a lot of the airports and stuff like I end up traveling out of. So as far as convenience goes as well, it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, so you do travel a lot. You're doing a lot of workshops and retreats around the world. Any special places that you frequent?
I tend to be going to Ireland a lot at the moment.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it out there, and Sweden as well. Sweden seems to be a place I'm traveling to a lot. Everyone there's so welcoming. The communities are great. I've had amazing experiences each and every time. I think I went to Ireland 5 times this year, and Sweden 3 or 4, and they've been amazing. And then next year's looking a little more diverse. So I'm not tend to returning to places as much.
Right.
It's more places next year.
Okay. Where's on the agenda for next year?
So the agenda we have. Are you ready for the list? We have Sri Lanka, Germany, France, Sweden, Ireland, India, Andorra, Costa Rica, Thailand.
Wow, you're like covering the entire planet there.
I think it's something like 12 countries booked so far.
Wow, that's great.
It's exciting. I think I'm just gonna have to be on my sleep and on my centering, on my meditation.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, man. It's lots of beautiful opportunities and lots of different people to meet, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
Now, I was looking at your Instagram, and I noticed you've got like a very interesting tattoo on your tricep. Is there a story behind that tattoo?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple story. It's I wanted to get like a reminder of all my favorite things on my arm wherever I am, which like I know it sounds silly, but as I said earlier, I'm a sort of a big family man, so that's that kind of the treat. The family and friends aspect of like wherever I go, it's cheesy, but they're always there if I choose to think that way. And then the Japanese water traditionals, I'm at my happiest when I'm in nature, when I'm in water or I'm on the mountain or in the woods. So again, sometimes I'm finding myself in a lot of cities more these days. I'm a bit of a country bumpkin, so it's like a nice reminder of my roots, and like a reminder to stay grounded. So there's like a little bear paw on the tree. So yeah, inversions are something I love, and I think with all the traveling, it can make you a bit vata, like a bit spacey.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of grounding routines, like going for walks or sitting, meditating, and try and do as much seated posture as I do inversions because I'm an excitable person. So there's that, and then the quill is like a representation of creativity. So I do a lot of writing. I'm a songwriter, so I play numerous different instruments, or dabble at least. So it's kind of that aspect, which is something I'm trying to find a way of bringing back, because it's been absent for a little while now. So I want to get back into the
Yeah, I was going to ask you about your music. So you were in a band, and
correct.
You broke up.
Yeah, we did. So I went to a university called BIM. So it's like a specialist music industry school,
right?
Which is where I met my band at the time. And yeah, it's great years. Really great years.
What instrument do you play?
So I sing.
Yeah.
I play guitar. I play piano, and then I dabble on other bits and bobs. So I was the front man for the band. and I guess lead songwriter. We all contributed, but I brought the ideas to the table, and then we kind of jammed them out.
Yeah.
So that was a great time, and then pretty much at the best, the peak of the band's existence, when things were looking potentially to be headed a good way. How do I phrase this nicely? My best friend, I'm still very good friends with him now. He decided that he wanted to go solo, like a week before our biggest show, and then the rest is history, man. It all kind of went down the pan in kind of like a bad way. I think pretty much that he was a bit scared to leave the band because it wasn't just the band. It was kind of, for a while, the divide of a 4 or 5 year friendship group. And we just committed to like a year contract in a house that we couldn't really afford. And, we were all getting jobs that we didn't care about to fund this project that was no longer happening. So like then we had this year of like a disaster year, just all in jobs we disliked for a band that no longer existed. It left it. This is not very yogic to say, it left a sour taste in my mouth. So for about a year, I wrote a lot, but I didn't really gig too much. It wasn't like an active pursuit.
Yeah.
Now I've got an EP to release I wrote everything, and then I worked with the producer and hired some session musicians and stuff. So it's hopefully going to be released within 2018.
Oh, wow.
So fingers crossed. And then I'm influenced a lot at the moment by people like East Forest and kind of chilled out yoga music. So I'm going to maybe take a bit of like a side avenue and start writing some music for yoga too, which would be nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, some movement music.
Yeah, a man of many talents. Well, before we finish up, Dan, can you leave our Warrior Addict listeners and viewers some words of wisdom?
Some words of wisdom. It's difficult on the spot. It's again cheesy, but do what you love, and do what makes you happy, and help other people in the pursuit of the same thing.
Beautiful. Well, thanks, Dan. It's been great talking to you today. And guys, you can find out more about Dan, including links to his website and his social media channels, by going to Dan's personal brand Warrior page at warrioraddict.com. That's it from me. That's it from Dan. Catch you later, guys.